Hi everyone, welcome back to the Cantor Coach. I'm Emily Huber, and today we are going to be talking about a topic that I think is really important when we are approaching our music on Sunday, and that is humility. And so I want to discuss that with you, ways that we can be humble in approaching our work and why it's important. Let's get started. Okay, so the best place to get started when talking about a concept like humility is to think about the definition of humility, which is a low sense of self-importance. So you may have heard this before. It's not necessarily thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. And the reason I bring this up in the context of cantering is I know I've experienced this before, and so I wanted to see if any of you have experienced this too. So leave me a comment down below if you've experienced this. But sometimes when I get up to sing at Mass on Sunday, it can feel almost like a performance. It can feel like I need to do a good job because I don't want to mess up. I start using all of these I statements, which yes, we want to do a good job. We want to be able to do our best on Sunday, but we got to remind ourselves of why we're doing this in the first place and who we're doing our best for. This is about God. This is about the people at the congregation. We are doing a job for them. We are doing a service for them. And so I want to talk about a few ways that we can be humble when we cantor. One way that we can be humble when we're cantering on Sunday is being mindful about what we're wearing. So we want to make sure that we're not wearing anything too gaudy, make sure that we're not wearing anything that would draw too much attention to us, anything immodest. We want to wear something that covers our shoulders. We don't want to have too short of a skirt or shorts for the gentlemen. And we also don't want to wear too bright of colors. Like I would stay away from anything that's neon or anything that would draw too much attention to us when we're going to sing on Sunday. The reason for this is we want to be there as a gift and as a service to the church, and we don't want to make it about us, even with the way that we dress. Another way that we can be humble cantors is by paying attention to our volume when we sing. Sometimes, of course, we want to make sure that we're monitoring the way that we sing certain pieces, but especially in a group setting, we don't want to be overpowering the people around us. We want to make sure that we are singing in the group setting the way that we are blending. We want to pay attention to all of the different things around us so that we're not sticking out, because that can often draw attention to us as well. So pay attention to our volume, make sure we're not singing too loud, whether it's too close to the microphone or whether we're in a group setting. Another way that we can be humble cantors is by not getting distracted at Mass. It can be really easy, especially if you have been cantering for a long time. Believe me, I know this. It can be easy for our mind to wander. It can be easy to get distracted. It can be easy to get even complacent a little bit with our music and not pay attention to the rhythms, the notes, even the words. So it's really important to have intentionality and focus when we're singing so that we never lose sight of the reason why we're there. The fourth way that we can be humble cantors at Mass is making sure that we are paying attention to our posture. Yes, we've talked about posture when it comes to singing and how important it is when we breathe, but it's also important to have good posture because we don't want to give the impression that we're slouching on the job or that we're overly confident. We want to pay attention to our posture because it does send a message about our performance as cantors, that we can either be a little bit too slouched, or if we're leaning back in our chair, or if we're not sitting properly up in front of the group, that could send the wrong message to the congregation. So in order to be humble cantors, we want to have this service mindset even when it comes to our posture. The fifth way to be humble when we are cantering is to smile. I know that seems so simple, but when we take ourselves a little bit too seriously, we can get kind of a stern looking face, or we can get, I know I've done this before, we can get very, very serious. And so we want to make sure that we look like we're enjoying being there. We look like we are excited to be sharing the gospel with everyone. And so we want to make sure that we're smiling. So when you get up to Cantor on Sunday, make sure that you are smiling and showing that you are so happy to be participating that day. And the final way that we can be humble cantors at Mass is the way that we accept compliments graciously. So I highly recommend simply accepting the compliment with a thank you, because it's very easy sometimes to be reflecting on our singing and we don't think that we did a good job here, or we don't think we did a good job there, or we thought we did a great job. But regardless of how you think you did at Mass, just accept the compliment with a simple thank you. Pointing out those errors or pointing out the things you did well is not the most humble way to approach those things. And so that is how I would recommend accepting those compliments at Mass. Thank you guys so much for watching today. If you have other ideas of ways that we could be humble when we are singing all together, I'd love to hear them. Please leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will look forward to seeing you all next week. God bless you.